with a placement change, usually there would be an IEP meeting, or an amendment IEP meeting to change the placement. That's a big substantial change to the IEP. And there's a few ways to look at it. First, just so we all have on top of mind, the way that we always need to think about it is least restrictive environment. And there is a hierarchy where the least restrictive environment would be a general education classroom on a general education campus with no supports, right? So obviously here at Undivided, none of our kids have no supports, and then the most restrictive environment would be like a placement, like at home alone, or, maybe in a residential facility or something like that. And there's a hierarchy. So if the child is in general education, and you need to make a placement change for whatever reason, maybe to lessen demands for a while due to like you're talking about here, a health crisis, the first thing you want to consider is if they can stay in their current placement with additional supports. Maybe they don't have a one-to-one and we can add a one-to-one. Maybe they need a shortened school day, whatever might work. If the team decides that doesn't work, then next we can look at a special education classroom or a special day classroom, right? If you're moving a child from a gen ed placement to a special education placement, it can be hard to move the child back the other way. And the reason for this is because oftentimes the supports in the general education classroom were not appropriate. I would say that a lot of kids don't have the full supports they need. And so when they move to a special day class, they're going to do better. And so when you say, okay, our situation has improved, I want to move him back into general education, the school very likely is going to say, well, look how good they're doing in this special day class. This is clearly the appropriate placement. And the argument to that can definitely be, well, this just shows that he does need these additional supports in gen ed, right? So you can kind of turn it around on them. But just be aware that it could be a challenge to move them back. It's not impossible by any means. It's absolutely doable, but you just have to be, ready that that's going to come up.